My dear friends in Jesus Christ, once a pastor was leaving to another parish. It was his last Sunday. At the end of the service, the pastor is standing at the door. One woman was overcome with weeping and emotion. The pastor, touched by her grief, attempted to reassure her with, "Oh, sister, don't weep. Even if I am leaving, I know that the bishop will send a wonderful priest." She replied through tears, "That is what they have been telling this church for 20 years. It is not happened yet." Yes, my dear friends, what is the heaviest burden you are carrying today? If I were to ask each one of you the same question, what would be the answer? Then you may say, "Father, I am carrying the burden of illness." Some of you may say about the children or about their grandchildren. Some are struggling with financial problems and family conflicts, loneliness, anxiety, or loss of someone whom they love. Let me share a simple story. A man was hiking up a mountain carrying the very heavy backpack. As he climbed the mountain higher and higher, the backpack became heavier and heavier. His shoulder was hurting. His leg becomes weak. And finally, he sat down completely and exhausted. An elderly guide who was passing by stopped and asked him, "Why is your bag is heavier?" The young man replied, "These are all the things I needed to climb the mountain." The guide smiled and said, "Open it. Inside were broken tools, useless stones, and old clothes, and many things he has packed upon for the journey." So, my dear friends, the guide looked at him kindly and said, "Lay down what is not yours to carry." The young man emptied his backpack. Suddenly, it became a very light, and he continued his journey with joy. So, my dear friends, many of us, like that young man, we carry today's burden. We carry yesterday's regrets. We carry tomorrow's fears. Sometimes we even carry burdens that belongs to other people. Today, gospel is one of the most comforting passage that gives in the Bible, because Jesus lovingly says for each one of us, "Come to me, all who are labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. These words are not just beautiful, they are life-changing. Jesus invites us to find rest. In today's gospel, Jesus gives us one of the true most comforting invitation in the Bible. Come to me, all who are labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Because take my yoke upon you and learn from me that I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest in your souls. Jesus knows that life is not always easy. He always sees our struggles, our worries, and our difficulties and burdens we carry each day. That is why He lovingly invites us who are weary and discouraged, come to Him to find rest, peace, and rest. So, my dear friends, every one of us carries different burdens. It may be some struggle with the illness. It may be the family problems. It may be the financial difficulties. It may be the loneliness, and it may be the grief or anxiety. Others carry hidden wounds that no one can see. So, my dear friends, at times these burdens seems to be heavy to bear. Yet Jesus reminds us that we do not carry them alone. He asks us to come to Him with trust like the little children and to take His yoke upon ourselves. So, when we walk with Him, He shares our burdens and gives us strength to move forward. So, as we are invited, especially for those who are humble enough to recognize their need for God. The proud often believes they can manage everything on their own, but the humble knows they need help from the God. When we place our trust in Jesus, He never abandons us. Instead, He walks beside us and strengthens us and carries our burden with us. So, we all should become the hand of Jesus. Then, often, Jesus comes to us through the kind people, carrying the world, helping hand, a visit to the sick, a simply one who listened all our problems, and we become healing touch. In the same way, we are called to become the hands of Jesus, bringing comfort to others and encouragement to those who are in need and tired and are burdened. So, all those who follow Him with trust and true rest they will find, and the reassurance that He alone can dispense it. That's why He is telling, come to me always. It is a great invitation for each one of us. So, Jesus offers the true rest for everyone, no matter who we are and what we are doing. That is why Jesus' rest is a universal need. We need physical rest and spiritual rest and mental rest for our growth. So, that's why St. Augustine, he says, you have made our hearts for you until they are restless, until they rest in you. Again, St. Bernard, he used to say, we find rest in those we love, and we provide a resting place in ourselves for those who love us. Yes, my dear friends, today the Eucharist is going to give us the strength. Today, Jesus inviting all of us once again to his table to participate in the Eucharist. Here, he nourishes with his body and blood and strengthens us with his faith and fills us with his peace. Let us place all our worries and problems in his hands and ask him for humble, trusting hearts. As we remain united with him, we will discover the true rest in ourselves and the new life that only he can give. Amen.